We INFJs are compassionate, imaginative, and steadfast in our commitment to our beliefs. Yet, like any of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, we are prone to developing bad habits. I think it's critical that we give ourselves the tools to avoid these errors and, as a result, thrive and succeed as INFJs in a world where introverts are frequently stigmatized for their actions. INFJs can fall into 4 personality traps, but there are 4 methods to escape them so that we can become the happy, healthy versions of ourselves that we were meant to be. These traps aren't specific to the INFJ personality type, but we introverted, intuitive feeling judgers frequently run into them. The INFJ personality has drawbacks. 1. Keeping to ourselves. This point could surprise you. INFJs are after all committed to their loved ones and often moved to tears by another person's suffering. When others experience difficulty, we genuinely care and feel pain. In actuality, it's one of our strongest traits. However, the INFJ's persistent sense of being misunderstood is what has the potential to push us toward becoming self-absorbed. We INFJs could start to feel like we're up against the world, like no one truly gets us, what it's like, or that no one gets me. As a result, there may be a profound sensation of isolation and remoteness, to the point where we isolate ourselves from those around us only because we are feeling so lonely. We may distance ourselves from others because we don't understand the value of the connection. We delve further into our minds, which might be risky. Yes, we are capable of getting stuck in our own heads. I speak from experience when I say that it is awful. We are more than just intellectuals. We live in our heads, and spending too much time there keeps us from understanding other people's viewpoints. It misleads us into thinking that we are all we need. Everyone will approach this trap differently, but the key is to step outside of your comfort zone and adopt a new perspective. This can entail arranging an introvert-friendly coffee session with a friend or going to a lecture or performance where there won't be much social interaction. Anything thought-provoking will engage the cerebral INFJ. Even something as basic as reading, watching, or listening to a source you don't typically consume. 2. Taking offense at too many things. The sensitive and emotional INFJ is prone to overanalyzing, whether it's a text, an email, or a comment on one of your social media posts. We obsess about the grammar and even the use of emojis, or the lack thereof. We all too frequently take things personally when they weren't meant to be. I always do this. I'll tell myself that the friend I'm DMing on Instagram doesn't like me if she doesn't use a smiley in her message. Someone else might harm me if they send me a short, straightforward text without punctuation or emoticons, leading me to believe they're disregarding me, when in fact they were simply hurried to answer. Other times, I'll get worried after someone departed a group gathering without saying goodbye to me or when they don't welcome me when they arrived. To the INFJ, it may not seem like a huge deal, but it is. One could experience it as a heart stab. I begin to question if they dislike me rather than understanding that they simply forgot or were rushing to leave, that I'm not considered a friend by them. But in those circumstances, all I'm doing is fueling my hatred of myself by speaking for and thinking for other people. It may be debilitating. How to avoid this trap? INFJs, you are not despised by the world. It's time to start loving yourself. Celebrate something great about yourself to keep you from letting unjustified negative thoughts ruin you. Congratulate yourself on a job well done. When you stop to think about it, your excessive analysis is frequently based on nothing more than your own imagination of the worst-case scenario. It's vicious. You are not to it. You're criticizing yourself for something that, in the first place, might not even exist, and, in the second place, is an empty act of self-hatred supported by no proof. Give yourself a pep talk along these lines whenever you begin to overthink someone's behavior. and feel like slamming your head against the wall. Who are you benefiting by worrying about what someone may or may not analyze of you? You have no power over it. Stop looking for proof that people despise you. Stop trying to make yourself despise yourself. Then go engage in some form of distraction, like reading a book or watching a movie. Consider for a moment how fortunate you are to have such excellent things and good people in your life. Your biggest asset is you. How can you expect to prosper and utilize the tremendous abilities and talents you possess if you are against yourself? INFJ, the world needs you to be your best. So, in order to combat those unfavorable ideas, acknowledge your successes. 3. Resolving disputes. Conflict annoys INFJs. We detest conflict, unresolved conflicts, and aggressiveness the most, especially when it arises between us and the people we care about. We need everything to go without a hitch. We just want everyone to move on. And even if it just involves ignoring the issue, we will do whatever it takes to make it right. We INFJs need to exercise caution. Because we want things to return to how it was, we cannot afford to ignore raging crises. We can't be so eager to make things right that we force peace upon anyone without addressing the underlying problem. INFJs are excellent listeners, which is a great way to avoid this trap. Listen, then. Really, it's that easy. Change the circumstances, change yourself, and replace this potential blunder with one of your strengths. Empathy. Imagine it like a switch. Use your amazing aptitude for empathy, compassion, and wisdom to listen like we INFJs can so well, rather than avoiding discussing conflict. My friend, we can't solve every problem, but we have strengths that come in handy in tense situations. The hurt parties concerned require those attributes. Share them now. Making the switch instead of discarding out of fear. Express your profound empathy and take pride in your ability to do so. Give emotional assistance. 4. Feeling envious. INFJs want for a friend. We don't have much patience for flimsy connections, but we frequently struggle to start the relationships we truly desire. There aren't many people in my life that I get along well with. We haven't even started a relationship or a meaningful conversation that goes beyond idle small talk. Therefore, we're not really friends. We INFJs might easily become envious when we observe other people bonding and enjoying themselves because of our intense need for meaningful connection. When someone dear to us has friends of their own, we could compare ourselves to them, or, even worse, we might withdraw, feeling unloved and pitiful. We want a friend who will stand with us no matter what, a friend for us and us alone. When the tenuous friendships we do have are in danger, we might then react violently. How to avoid this pitfalls when friendships between other people seem to confirm our negative ideas? INFJs might become so overcome with self-loathing that all we feel is hurt, shame, and despair. We could become so enmeshed in our own anxieties and inadequacies that we turn on ourselves, and it isn't right. Dear INFJs, refocusing your jealousy can help you overcome it. Take baby moves in a different direction rather than wallowing in what you lack or are unable to do. You'll feel better since you're doing something to deepen your relationship with the individual, whether it's merely posting a warm and cheery comment on someone's Instagram post or simply texting them happy birthday. It's a tiny step, but it's a crucial one. We must be grateful for the contributions we make to our relationships. We all express love in different ways, and if we allow the world tell us that being extroverted is more valuable than being our great introverted selves, then having passionate public embraces and loud professions of friendship are the ideal. Another piece of advice is to channel all the jealousy-inducing energy into something that positively emphasizes you. Build something, assist someone, perform a useful task. Acknowledge your successes and reclaim your self-confidence. You won't be envious of someone or something else if you are confident in who you are. INFJs, we can't afford to allow these dangers hold us back. We can improve our health and happiness. We can overcome any bad problems that our personalities throw our way can be ours to own and let go of.